Hello! This is the One Episode Rule, the podcast about first impressions. I am Magpie, and I don't even remember what anime is.
Me neither. I'm Blackle, and I am separated from time and space, and I'm just being reintroduced to the concept of space-time.
I'm going to make a commitment to the viewer to if not actually recording bonus episodes like we're supposed to actually watch some anime to talk about.
I watched anime. Hi, I'm Louis. It's my turn.
All right.
I watched Hell's Paradise and some of that Zombie 100 show.
All right. We'll talk about it.
I did my homework. I don't know about y'all guys.
Yeah, well, put your cards on the table. Talk about it.
Okay. What do you want me to say? Like, do you want me to give like an overview or whatever?
I don't know.
Say it was bad.
You brought it up.
Hell's Paradise was okay. There's a lot of talking at the beginning of it. Like a lot of exposition, like a lot of exposition, which makes sense. The island that they go to, they have to set up a lot of like of the like mythos of the island and like the monsters and all that. So it's like I get it, but my God, there's a lot of talking. But like once you get past that, it's pretty good, and like the characters are cool. Spoiler alert: my favorite character dies. So that's par for the course. Then for that Zom 100 show, it's a fun time, and honestly, it hits really differently post pandemic. I'd be curious to see how the show would have done before like the pandemic happened, because I feel like it's way more relatable now.
All right. I'm gonna put out. I'm not gonna put. You know what? I'm not gonna put this choice to y'all, but just expect to hear about either Higurashi or more Baki the Grappler next
I feel like
time.
Baki's the way to go. We need to pickle it up.
I need to cover the pickle arc and how horrible he is, how awful he is. Anyway, you guys want to hear some news, such as it is? Because a little peek behind the curtain, viewers. I forgot what day it was, so I didn't know what we were. I didn't know we were recording at all. So this news is a shit show. But anyway, let's talk about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Because I normally wouldn't talk about stage play shit because it is intensely local to Japan and will never come here. So it is mostly irrelevant to our listeners. But I need you guys to see the people they casted for JoJo and Dio from the Phantom Blood stage play. And specifically, the costuming and makeup choices they did on them.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Dio looks incredible.
Wow.
He doesn't look like the dye on his wig doesn't even go down all the way to his roots.
No, it doesn't.
It's giving extreme hair metal.
I love the fucking border on these images, just like Joe.
Oh yeah, of course. And
so extra.
And even Jonathan's like kind of weird. He's got like a weird like Superman curl, or like a Prince thing going on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, he does.
It's very odd. But anyway, speaking of JoJo's, there's mores of JoJo's, which is that the live action spinoff Rohan at the Louvre is going to get a worldwide release on September 22. But wait, I don't know what they meant by fucking worldwide, because it's only going to stream on Amazon Prime. Which is not worldwide, but you know what is worldwide? Piracy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And finally, just throwing this in with the rest because I saw a trailer for this movie and it seemed interesting. Let's see. The Concierge, a anime film with a pretty unique visual style, is apparently going to hit theaters on October 20th and then probably become available in English sometime around then.
Nice.
I'll show you guys what caught my attention, which I think this looks pretty cool. It
does.
It's like if Spirited Away happened at a department store.
It's Furry World. I love Furry World.
You must help the furries find pants.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna watch that. I guess in my
For sure.
my like
Mhm.
weird anime indie film reporting that I do occasionally.
Mm-hmm.
um, so uh, whenever I was considering things to bring to JoJo was off having adventures of their own, and has radioed back to the podcast with a very simple message, which I will give to you now, which is watch the dub of Kyou Kara Maou, specifically the dub.
Well, Mao means Demon King. I'm pretty sure.
Mao, as far as I know, Mao just means like bad magic, like like witch
Okay.
shit. But
Okay.
it might,
Okay.
but yours might be closer too. Honestly,
I mean,
we're
who knows?
weeaboos.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows?
we have no real knowledge of Japanese.
Hey, I took a Duolingo class once. Thank you.
I played Yakuza. I'm familiar with the kind of sentences old evil men would use. Anyway.
Yeah. We're real fans. Why are you
only
leaving?
fans.
Come back.
Sucked into a toilet.
God damn it.
Oh
I
yeah,
feel
this
you
is a
sucked
good
into
one.
a toilet.
It was either that or something about Skibidi toilet, but I simply didn't wish to
Skibbity
go
toilet. Skibbity, skibbity.
there. So yeah. Who wants to read the blurb?
Fine.
I will give you this blurb.
Koyu Karamao revolves around Yuri Shibuya, your average Japanese teenager. One day, Yuri sees a classmate being harassed by bullies. Thanks to his intervention, his friend is able to escape, but unfortunately, Yuri becomes the new target of bullies in the process and gets his head shoved into a toilet. But instead of water, the toilet contains a swirling portal that sucks him into another world, largely resembling medieval Europe. There he is told that he will become the next Demon King due to his black hair and black eyes, traits only possessed by the demon's royal lineage.
I cut out a bunch of the rest of the blurb because it was about shit that wasn't in episode 1. So yeah, before we talk about this, we have to talk about the English language dub because I'm pretty sure it changes a significant amount of the actual dialogue.
Oh, absolutely. There's no
I
way
can
the
believe
whole.
that.
Actually, can I
'Cause
say it? Can I say the line?
Which line?
What are you
You're
talking
short for
about?
urine.
Yeah. That makes me somewhat incredulous about
Yeah.
the translation.
Mhm.
It
Me
is
too.
an incredible dub because there is nothing technically wrong with it, but we are on some like ghost hunter shit or whatever that
Ghost
one
stories.
was. Ghost stories, yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Except they're trying to play it straight. Anyway,
Are they
we
really
need
trying to play it straight? Because I looked a little bit ahead on Wikipedia, and stuff occurs.
It says it's a comedy, but the thing is I don't know how much of it is on purpose. Some of it, obviously, but
Yeah.
listen, it's funnier than I think they intended.
Mm-hmm.
So let's get moving on this. We actually open on a pregnant lady in a taxi.
Yeah.
Talking about how sweaty she is.
Yeah, she's just complaining about being pregnant, which honestly, like real shit,
Yeah.
like the most realistic shit in the show.
I have a feeling that like realism aside, that this dialogue also wasn't in the like Japanese like.
I don't know. It definitely could have been. Japanese people love to complain about the heat.
I mean, complaining about the heat, yeah, but not being like, boy, am I sure sweaty and pregnant. Maybe I'm wrong.
I sure am sweaty and pregnant,
Yeah.
random stranger.
It's like, I don't know why that came off as like NPC dialogue where you'd walk up to somebody and say, "Am I sweaty and pregnant?"
Pissing alone, handsome?
Is that
Oh,
the
no.
episode title? Did we come up with that?
Listen. It's the night is young.
Okay,
So
fair.
So yeah, we open on that, and she's just complaining about it, and the mysterious stranger she's sharing the taxi with his fucking accursed amulet,
Mhm.
remarks about how beautiful she is, and how he would have stopped the taxi, uh, which I don't even know if that line came out properly, but. And how children born in July are stronger, having survived the summer. And in his country, July is called Yuri, which no, it's not. But I don't believe
Just
you.
fucking with her.
But yeah, we cut from that to God. Where exactly did we come in? We're just sort of hanging out with
he's just
Yuri
kind of
Shibuya
hanging
now.
and he kind of like
Yeah, he's on his bike
enters.
watching he's watching the baseball team practice, and he's just like, oh man, I wish I was a baseball idiot. and and so just classmate number 4 is behind him, is like, hey, Shibuya. And this is how you get introduced to his name, and I thought they were doing like a cutesy like, where are you from sort of thing, but no, his name is just Yuri Shibuya. And I imagine he doesn't live in Shibuya because it would be too confusing. But he's just like, yeah, you don't want to join the baseball team. You won't be able to enjoy your high school life. You have to work all the time at practice. And he's just like, I wish I could work at practice. And the guy's like, what? And he's just like, goodbye. And he runs away. And on his way back, he catches sight of some real anime ass goons. We should remark about how old the show is, because it's like 2004.
I thought it was older. I
thought it was older
was
too.
watching this, and I was like 1995, based on like how like old and like the backgrounds were.
Yeah, it's definitely not a Digipaint anime. This is a fully on cells affair.
Yeah, for sure.
And it does, it's got this. It's got like, it feels like it has a Yu Yu Hakusho filter over it. But yeah, as he's going home, he sees some anime ass goons menacing another classmate of his, Ken Murata, who I don't know if anybody's ever seen the meme about the girls who will or will not dominate you, but he looks like the shortest one with the glasses. And yeah, that seems he's just standing up there. He's just like, if you mean to rob me, I don't have any money. And it's just like, has that ever saved anyone? They're just gonna beat you into paste. Yeah, Yuri's just like, okay. Listen, I can just, if I ride by really fast, Ken won't see me, and he can't call out. And he's just like, hey, Yuri.
Oh god,
like,
yeah, they made eye contact, like, and
like Pokemon trainers.
Trainers, yeah.
He's just like, hey, what are you guys doing? I hope it's not something illegal. And when they take a moment to talk, there's like, what are you sticking up for him? Which, by the way, if they wanted to translate that into the real American dialogue, you know exactly what that dialogue with. It's just like, what, are you gay for each other?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
But they simply will not do that. So the goons like come off as like lame or uncreative. But while they turn their attention, Ken just legs it, which I think is a great strategy. But he leaves Yuri holding the bag, and they decide it's just like, hey, our Mark got away from us. How are you going to make it up to us? And listen, you only had one choice here, Yuri. Whenever they said, "How are you going to pay us back?" you said, "Punches to the face," because the only thing you could do now is posture. Like you're not getting away.
Right.
So either talk a big game or just actually go full psycho as much as you can. But no, he hesitates and they grab him, and they decide to drag him into the girls' bathroom, which he remarks upon. It's just like, hey, we can't go in here. And they're just like, what? Are we just because we're not wearing dresses? I'm just like, this is a weird moment.
It is.
But yeah, they're gonna give him a swirly, and this is where, this is where they come up with the line. It's just like, yeah, it's Yuri. It's short for urine, and he's just like, yeah, I haven't heard that 5,000 times in my life. And they cut to his mom,
Oh god.
explaining,
Just talking about pee.
Yeah, it's just like she's just like, it could have been because we had a fountain in our house that was beautiful, but always made me want to piss. But no, it's actually because I met a beautiful man in a taxi cab one time. I was just like,
I was already pregnant.
Well, I was already pregnant. It's a weird scene, but anyway.
Can we put a pin in this because I want to come back to it once we revisit a later point in the story because I have questions.
Okay.
Of course. Yeah. This would be the part in any other isekai where he discovered some mysterious power and threw them off. But no, they actually do swirly him. And actually
I swear to God, like literally they were like pushing his face into the bowl and I was like, he's gonna isekai to my girlfriend who I was watching this with. And I was joking. And it happened.
He gets isekai'd in the funniest method I have thus far seen.
Ridiculous.
Especially if we follow like modern isekai rules and assume that he is dead in the real.
Oh my god!
He swirled him and he just died.
Yeah, he's been drowned in a toilet like it's fucking Hitman. But from his point of view, he is in a vortex of water. He's like, what's happening? This can't be real. I can't be the first person to be flushed down the toilet.
Can't be the first person to get a weed overdose.
So yeah, our next scene is he has landed in the fucking hills of the Alps. He really calls it. He's just like, this looks like the Alps, and I'm just like, yeah, you look like you're in hiding now. It's just like, how did I get here? Does the sewer system connect to the Alps? And I'm just like, I'm dumber for having heard this line of dialogue.
Yeah.
And he sees a local peasant girl. He's just like, "Hello, can you tell me where I am?" And she just like recoils in horror, and drops her basket of like weird fruit. It's like weird fantasy fruit, which is like a fun detail. But he picks up an apple that's the color of like Pepto Bismol. It looks it's the most unappetizing anime fruit I have ever seen. It's really bad.
It looks like it's from Spy Kids.
But he tries to hand it back to her, and she just like shrieks and runs away to some other villagers, and they start throwing rocks at him. Yeah. He's just like, I don't have any money, please. But if you have some, you can give it to me, and I can pay you back after I call my family. And they're getting ready. They're getting ready to kill him. It looks like whenever a man on horseback rides up and shouts at them. And we should note that they're shouting in like a made up language at each other. Mm-hmm. I can't give you. I'm not a huge nerd, so I can't give you a review of this conlang. But but I don't know. It just sounds like nonsense, really. Mm-hmm. And this huge man stops them, and he gets off his horse, and he's just towering over Shibuya, which is a thing that will like continue to happen and feeds into like a weird theory I have later. But finally, he just grabs him by the sides of his head and like squeezes really hard. Yeah. Which I thought he was gonna fucking kill him. I thought he was gonna do him like the Mountain did Oberyn Martell.
Just squish his brain out.
Just fucking make jam of him. But but no, he activated something in his brain that let him understand him. And when he did, in these scenes, Shibuya is just sitting there doing bits, and they're all extremely dumb bits. So they're kind of hard to remember.
Yeah. They're like, oh, this is a reenactment from the Civil War.
Yeah. He keeps thinking it's like from the Civil War or that. Oh yeah, and that doesn't like make any sense in context because he's Japanese.
Yeah.
And the last Civil War in Japan happened in like fucking the beginning of the Meiji period. but anyway, as he's doing his shtick, he hears the peasants talk about it. It's just like, oh, he doesn't have any weapons, and so he can't burn our village like he did the other village, like they did the other village. And hey, he's got black hair and black eyes. I hear there's people in the country to the west that'll pay a lot of money for that. And the guy on the horse is just like, oh yeah. Well, maybe we can convince him peaceably. He doesn't seem to know what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And it seems like, I'll put it for real, they could have very easily convinced him. He's not a bright child.
No.
But just then we have another group of writers coming in, and they are the styles on screen confuse me because these men are dressed like World War I officers.
I'm like so confused at just like the world of this story.
Just like the time period. Yeah. And they come in and it's just like, get away from Yuri. And it's just like, oh, you know my name. And also there's a big flying skeleton. This big flying skeleton is my favorite character.
I literally felt
he showed up. You go.
I felt my soul leave my body as this was occurring.
I was revitalized by him.
I spent the whole episode waiting for this guy because he showed up in the opening, and I was like, "Oh my god, please be like the skeleton of the main character or something, like just bursting out."
Yeah, I didn't really pay attention, so I was surprised by him. But yeah, just a human skeleton flying on bat wings that have skin.
Yeah.
His anatomy is nonsense. He's just like, what the fuck is that?
What the fuck is going on?
The lead guy who was shouting for Yuri and the big blonde man from earlier cross swords for a second. And while they're doing that, Yuri has his thought about, oh, they must be reenacting some sort of duel. Hey, a big skeleton is pulling me into the sky.
A skeleton.
And then
my girlfriend and I made like skeleton, like Joel Vinesauce skeleton, like line reads. Skeleton.
He looks up at the skeleton and asks him something, and the skeleton just goes, which is great. But yeah, they drive away. The other guy's name was like Adelbert or something, and rescue Yuri, I guess. And our next scene is them all riding in one direction, and the skeleton has unhanded him and put him on a horse. And nothing happens in this scene.
No.
Like, really, nothing happens. They're just riding for a while, and Shibuya is just saying dumb shit, and they're going, oh, yes, Your Highness. Oh, yes.
Your Highness.
Very funny. Until they show up at this little cottage where where they introduce him to Gunter von Kreis. I didn't realize his name was spelled like that. Who I assume is attempting to like woo him romantically. He says everything to him with just adoration. And they get him off the horse, and he's just like, "Ow, my ass hurt." And he's just like, "Oh yeah, first time you ever ridden a horse." And they're just like, "First time you've ever ridden a horse? How can you be our king?" And yeah, they get down to it, which is he's he's supposed to be their demon king because they're the demon tribe and they're going to kill all the humans. By the way, there is no visual difference between them and the peasant people from earlier.
I just want to. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just want to call back to the first part of the episode where I was like, Maou means demon king, right? That's all.
Yeah, you called that.
I also just want to say that guy with purple hair looks like Sephiroth.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, of course he does. But we got to get into it, which is all the men here are bigger than Shibuya, and they all have yaoi guy proportions and faces.
It's so bishy.
It's really, it's really low key alarming. But they bring him inside and explain to him that he was supposed to be born into this world, but his soul was sent away because there was a war to be born on Earth, and then they finally brought him back to the world of his birth. And
okay. So when I was like, I need to put a pin in the thing and come back to it.
Yes, retract the pin.
Yes. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but did they not state that like his soul waited for like 2 years in between, when he left?
Yeah, they sent his soul. It waited 2 years and then was born.
So he waited 2 years. He just showed up in this random dude's nutsack, I guess, and got
he was playing
Yuri's
Armored Core
mom
in the meantime.
pregnant.
Yeah. He spent 2 years infiltrating the testes.
But he's already a fully developed person. He's not half a person. So did he take over the original child? What's the situation?
Oh yes, he killed them.
Okay.
I'm just extrapolating here, but yeah. After they managed to hammer,
I've infiltrated the uterus.
Yeah. After they've spent the required 10 minutes hammering this into the boy's head before he believes any of it, they remark that they have to take him back to his kingdom, and then it's the next day. I mean, he stands outside for a while and bonds with Conrad, but they say nothing of value. Literally nothing of value. Except that Conrad seems to be the most well-adjusted, but even him he's just like I would give you my life in an instant, sire.
Oh yeah.
He's not nearly as bad as Gunter, who is it feels like he's visibly salivating over. I can't express how uncomfortable Gunter von Crust makes
to serve you is orgasmic.
I'm
your hands is ecstasy.
Have we talked about the fact that he called? Actually, shouldn't I? He said double black.
Oh yeah, they keep calling him double black, which is
it's so weird.
Which is an advanced slur. But
because only used on kings in this world.
It's just because he has black hair and black eyes, and he happened to be wearing a black school uniform, and their whole royal lineage is based around the color black.
It's a lot. Goth kids rejoiced.
And he keeps me I'm Japanese, right? It's not uncommon.
Yeah.
This is the first time that a black-haired, black-eyed Japanese kid has been the anime kid.
Yeah.
Because he's been transplanted into a society where everybody is anime people except for him.
Yeah.
This hurts my head.
Very interesting case study. But anyway, the next day they ride back to the city. A purple-haired peasant girl tries to give him some water, and they're just like, "No, let us drink it first.
See if it doesn't have poison in it."
See, it doesn't have poison in it, but secretly it's an indirect kiss. No, and it doesn't have poison in it because it's fucking water.
Yeah.
They come into town. They explain some shit to him about how they have to kill all the humans.
This is water. It's Crystal Pepsi.
It's the stereotypical isekai town. It's a little more fantasy actually, because stereotypical isekai towns were heavily informed by video games later on. But this is much more like fairy tale to a certain degree.
Yeah. I find this like probably the most boring kind of world, personally.
Oh yeah. Well, do you think they had anything in the budget for innovation?
I guess not. I mean,
so they're riding through the streets and they're explaining to them like the political circumstances. It's like, oh hey, that guy's gonna try and ingratiate himself to you because he basically seized power before. And oh shit, hey, hey, you know what's here with the after they given you all these flowers? Bees, and they scared the shit out of your slow-witted horse. You're gonna go rocketing off through the town and get thrown in the courtyard of your own castle. Where we're introduced to another tall, handsome man, this time of the stern variety. And who says this can't possibly be the new king. And then we are introduced to, and this character ranks above Shibuya in the characters and voice actors list on my anime list, listed as a main character. Yeah. We are introduced to the male version of the protagonist from Versailles. This is an Utana ass character. And he basically just looks down and is like, this bitch can't be king. And that's the end of the episode. And we go on to one of the more annoying anime outros I've ever heard. It's like aspiring to ska, but not quite.
Yeah. In contrast to the OP, which I thought was, I quite enjoyed the OP actually. I liked how like all over the place it was, and I liked the music.
I was pretty neutral on it. So yeah, let's get down to the real shit. The fucking dub.
The dub is insane.
The dub in this is fucking crazy. There are so many like weird Americanisms in it that don't make any sense given the characters. The puns don't make sense because there would be no association between Yuri and urine in Japanese. It's truly fucking bizarre. And then you get lines like, I must be the first person to ever be flushed down the toilet. And does the sewer system connect to the Alps? We can't stress enough, it's the delivery that makes it sound bizarre, because he's got like the cadence of like any Saturday morning anime kid from like Bakuman or whatever, but he just pauses a little too long in between statements. And it gives them a kind of a extremely surreal like comedic timing.
Yeah.
What else? So I already mentioned that this feels like a yaoi. This feels like a boys' love anime.
It does feel like that.
He's surrounded by... Go ahead.
I read the synopsis of the second episode. It doesn't do anything to stop that reputation, nor in fact it makes it more.
It reinforces it. Was he being? Is he being fought over by all of the tall, handsome, huge-handed men around it?
I mean, I can spoil what the next episode will be.
Do so.
So basically, that like kid at the very end with like the blue hair or the blonde hair and blue eyes, who's like, "You can't be king."
Yes.
Like insults his mother, like the protagonist's mother, and says she's like a dirty human. And so apparently he slaps him, which in this world, slapping someone is the same thing as asking them to get engaged. And then like they have a duel because the other guy doesn't want to get engaged, and it's like feels insulted for having that happen. And then the protagonist like wins all the duels.
This is reverse Switch for Mercury. The protagonist slaps the love interest into being the love interest.
I'm gonna hit y'all with a fact that will destroy your worldview. This show has 78 episodes.
I can't handle that knowledge.
Unfortunately, our dear Joey out from above has
been absorbed.
Has shown. I don't know why I said above, like they're not with us.
What the hell? Yeah, above,
anyway,
like upstate.
Like further north.
Yeah.
They've watched 23 episodes of this.
The fact that this has 78 episodes feels like I have the same level of like queasiness as like balancing above a giant abyss on like a like tightrope. It's just like
it's so much.
It's horrifyingly massive.
There's so much here. Let's see.
There's
What other weird facts can we bring up about this? It's a Studio Dean production, which is just
It sounds so familiar.
Just really fucking typical. I know this is apparently an Inuyasha situation too, because I do see like screen caps where he goes back to Japan.
Yeah, he does go back apparently.
So yeah, what do you guys think of this one?
No.
Would you watch more of it?
I am glad I watched the first episode, but I'm not gonna watch any more of this for sure.
I have to say that I could definitely be persuaded to watch more of this.
No.
Because I feel like it's got train wreck qualities. I feel like it could get real bad.
Yeah, you watch Riverdale.
And yeah, that's why I watch Riverdale. So I feel like it might go down smooth with say, a box of Franzia wine.
Yeah.
Could be worth my time. But yeah. I'm trying to hang on. I'm trying to construct a joke. If you're sweaty and pregnant, you can tell us about that at oneepisodecast@gmail.com.
Don't tell us about how you're sweaty and pregnant, please. But if you don't want to tell us about how you're the Demon King, then you can tell us at somewhere at someplace.com.
What?
It's the same place as always.
That's the word, not the number.
The number. We're on Twitter and Blue Sky.
Yeah, we're on Twitter and Blue Sky. You can tweet us about being flushed out the toilet. This one, getting out of this one's a real struggle, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, so is getting flushed down the toilet.
You know the guy who was on Blue's Clues. What's his name? He was like Steve. Yeah, like Steve. You know, that's Blue's guy. Blue Sky. Steve.
Okay. So anyway, see you guys later.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.